All right, lads, we are back, and today we are talking about none other than Anna and Joshua Duggar. Because before this girl was Josh Duggar's wife, she was an actual person in her own right. So she was born Anna Keller. She was born in 1988. They're the same age, by the way. Now, she grew up very poor, okay, in Florida. She was one of 8 kids. Now, they were so poor that they did actually live in a trailer. By the way, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, okay? I'm not like you have to live within your means, but I am saying that there's something very wrong with deciding to have 8 children and not looking after them. Like, get a feckin' job, Pa Keller. Pa Keller's job is to be a minister in a prison. I don't believe that that pays very well. At least it doesn't pay well enough, because I believe that these were so poor that they couldn't even afford medical insurance. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason I believe that to be true. Anna Duggar has a sister, and the sister's name is Priscilla. Now, there's different stories that float around about Priscilla, but one of them is that she fell off a horse. Now, I'm not sure what caused her injury, okay, but she definitely has some kind of a TBI. Now, this girl, right? She can't even form a sentence, and she has said, like, I can't really read. She has spoken about the fact that she can't learn. There's something very wrong with her. I find it very disturbing that a man would specifically choose to marry this woman and get her pregnant 8 times. Yeah, because she is on to baby number 8. So that'll just give you an idea of the life that Anna Keller was born into. Like the expectations for these girls. Nothing. There was nothing. The bar was in hell for them. They were always just going to become a human pincushion, basically, that can pop out baby after baby for some bloke. The men in this religion, they really do freak me out. Anyway, Josh was also born in 1988. Now, as we know, he is the eldest of all the Duggar kids. So these were raised in Town. I love that name, by the way. Now, in his home, he's raised that males have authority over females. I'm telling you, talk about setting somebody up for a failure. And somebody like Josh, who was already problematic, okay? If you give them that much power, what do you think is going to happen? Because by the age of 12, Josh was already molesting his sisters. At age 12, right? Now, I would think if your 12-year-old was doing something like that, you'd say, "Oh, okay. I need help here. What do I do?" I don't know, a psychiatrist maybe, and a therapist for the daughters. But not the Duggar family. Hell no. Because instead of any psychiatrist, they just bring Josh for a bit of church counseling, okay? And then they send him away to do a bit of manual labor. Basically, they keep it all quiet. Now, we do actually see Josh in and around this era because we see him with a shaved head on the show. That's when all of this was going on, when he was doing like the manual labor. Anyway, that brings us to a girl called Kaylee Holt. Now, she was interested in marrying Josh, and Josh was interested in marrying her. I believe that Josh really did love this girl. And the Holt parents were friends with the Duggar parents. Now, the Holt parents, oh my God, these are more problematic people, but we'll talk about them another day. Anyway, when Kaylee and the Holt parents, right, when they found out what Josh Duggar had been doing, she's like, I don't want to marry this guy anymore. He's a feckin' pervert. So what do the Duggar family do? Well, Jim, Bob, and Michelle, they just find a new target, okay? Basically, that's what they did. And it's Anna. Oh, poor Anna. Anyway, she meets Josh at some homeschooling conference in about 2006. So they have like this long distance, but obviously chaperoned and supervised kind of relationship. They'd only met each other like a couple of times, but no physical contact, God forbid. Now, Anna Keller, I was going to call her Duggar. Anna did not choose Josh, okay? She didn't. I have seen this, I don't know how many times I've watched this proposal, right? She doesn't know what's happening. She's going out for her birthday with her parents. It's her 20th birthday. They're going to some kind of, I was going to say lobster. I believe it's alligator. I'm not really sure. But they're going somewhere for her birthday. So she's just sitting there, minding her own business. This is probably a big treat for her because remember, her family is very poor. I wouldn't imagine that she got to go out for dinner very often. So she's with her mother and father. She's sitting in this booth. And then Josh just arrives. Now, this girl doesn't look happy. She looks shocked. Now, I know she's 20 years old here, but I believe she's more along the lines of like a 12-year-old in her mindset, because she's never had any experiences in life. I mean, God forbid she got her own opinion. Anyway, just look at the way she's sitting, okay? Because she's sitting at the corner of the boot. Now, she's completely boxed in because there's a table in front of her, and this fucking gobshite in his suit is standing beside her. Now, she's not even aware that there's a whole camera crew filming all of this. I'd have lost my mind, okay? But like, she can't, right? She can't even say to her mother and father, how dare you do this to me? I hadn't even got my hair done, I'm not even ready for this. Like, but, she can't say any of that. So he's proposing to her. Now, obviously, okay, obviously, she has to say yes. Her parents set this up, and Michelle and Jim Bob, because Michelle and Jim Bob know that this guy, look, he needs a human pincushion, basically. Get Anna. Anna's family have no money. They'd be glad, to get rid of her. I really do believe that that's what happened to this poor woman. Also, it is a bit of a compliance test. Like, she couldn't say no. And then, like, she doesn't even know the cameras are there, but like, obviously her parents are there. She knows that she has to say yes. She's not one bit prepared for this. Also, like, there's no kissing, there's no, well, they do have like a bit of a side hug. Imagine all of this. Oh, this is why I feel so sorry for this woman. Anyway, they get married, okay? Feckin' hell, the wedding, the honeymoon, all of it is so uncomfortable. So they got married in September 26th in 2008. They had their first kiss at the altar. Now, I do actually remember this, okay? Anna's dress. Now, I know that that was her sister's dress, but like, couldn't the Duggars have forked out for something a bit better, for something that had at least fit this girl? But I will say, the photographs of Anna Duggar after the wedding, she hasn't even been part of this family for 24 hours. She looks like she has PTSD already. I'm not fucking surprised. I would too. So Anna has gone from basically knowing nothing, from doing nothing, okay? She hasn't even held a boy's hand. And I mean, her mother is teaching her everything at home. Look at the mother. Does she look like the smartest? This girl doesn't know anything. So she's gone from zero education about sex, about anything like that, then to our wedding night. Oh, and then like she's off on a honeymoon. She goes to Myrtle Beach. Now, I will say, right, just because something is consensual, like in a meaningful sense, it doesn't mean it should be legal. I don't think any of this should be legal if a person doesn't have informed consent. If they don't know what's about to happen, how can they say, I don't want this to happen? But of course, nobody gave a shit. She's only a girl, so she's just gonna have to put up with it. Anyway, then she just starts popping out baby after baby after baby. So they're only married, okay? She's pregnant. So she gives birth to Mackenzie just about a year after she gets married, right? Then comes Michael, Marcus, Meredith, Mason, Mariella, and of course Madison. Yes, after Ashley Madison. Oh, of course, these poor kids. And not only the poor kids, poor Anna, because she was filmed, right? She's given birth on the feckin' toilet when the TLC camera crew was there. I don't think that's consensual. I think you have to ask a person, can we film you do that? And I didn't hear any of them asking this woman. But too bad, so sad. Jim Bob Duggar is getting paid, so of course she's going to do it. Anyway, during all of this, Josh is selling used cars basically. He's also earning like TLC money. Then he tries to do some political consulting. Now he worked on Mike Hucklebee's campaign. Then in 2013 they moved to DC, right? So Josh becomes the executive director of what's called FRC Action. It's basically lobbying for family values and protecting children. I mean, you cannot make this shit up. But I remember one of the speeches he gave. It's just full of propaganda, okay? Because he's spouting on about how birth control basically aborts babies. I thought, no, it doesn't. Because if he wanted that to happen, he would literally get an abortion pill. But he's also gone on about how terrible Muslim people are and that they're just extremists in their religion. I thought, Josh, you can hardly talk about extremist religious people. But also, the feckin' cheek of this guy to be talking about anybody's religion and also to be talking about family values and protecting children. Him of all people. Oh my goodness. Then in 2015, his molestation history, that becomes public, right? Also, Ashley Madison leaks like all the affairs, right? Now, if you don't know what Ashley Madison is, it's basically a site that you can sign up to with your credit card, and if you're a really stupid person, your actual email address, like Josh Duggar did, and it just guarantees that somebody will have an affair with you for the correct price. Josh also is admitting now to being addicted to porn, so off he goes to like it's some kind of a rehab. Anna, of course, stands by him. Then in 2021, the actual feds, right, in the United States of America, go to this guy's Carla and they arrest him for CSAM, right? Now, the evidence against him is overwhelming, right? Now, in 2022, he's convicted and he is sentenced to 12 and a half years in a federal prison. I love that for him, right? I love that for him. So in 2024, he's trying to do some kind of appeal. The court is saying, "Are you mad? We know exactly what you did. We have all the proof." Now, as of 2026, he is still incarcerated. Thank the good Lord. Now, Anna, I believe that she does still keep in contact with him. She probably even goes to visit him, okay? And I know that people hate her for that. But I'm not going to hate her, okay? Because, now bear with me while I explain this to you. Anna is now living with her children in what I would consider to be an opulent home, if you will. This woman now has a home with her children, okay? She would never have that if it wasn't for the Duggars. Now, I do believe that Jim Bob bought that for her. I mean, she feckin' earned it, you know? She gave birth on the telly into a dialer, for God's sake. Anyway, all of her kids are still together. He's not around, right? That piece of shit is gone. He won't be back for a heck of a long time when all of those kids are grown up. But I am happy for Anna that she does have her own place, that she is being financially looked after. But also, I don't know why, but Anna has decided to become some kind of a puppy breeder. Now, she is starting to post again, which is very unusual. Like, she hasn't posted in such a long time. But I do have to say, her kids look happy, they look healthy, they're all under the same roof together. And I think that's the best that you can basically ask for in this kind of a situation. Because if they were to go into like a foster care system, would they even still be together? No, I highly feckin' doubt it. Who the hell is going to be able to take in 7 children? You have to take all of that into consideration. I still have hope for Anna. I think that Anna may have like a Christine Brown moment because her kids are getting older. She'll see them getting married and she might say to herself, "Oh my God, like, I'm only a woman, but I can actually be treated well. Somebody can treat me nicely." The way Christine Brown seeing her kids, when they were getting married and she seen how their husbands were, I do have that hope for Anna. Oh, please God, anyway, because there is no way that she is responsible for what Josh Duggar did. Like, I believe that she was set up not just by her parents, because I do believe they set her up, and Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, but this system that these people are raised in, like how every single woman is set up to fail. Of course they are. Just look at it, what you have to answer to your husband. The fuck? But also, this system, like, it protects him. He doesn't seem to do anything wrong, and women are just trained to be silenced and to never ever leave. So, yeah, I understand why people dislike this woman. I don't. I have an awful lot of sympathy for her. I just feel sad for her, because she's just worth so much more than this piece of shit. That is our video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, go ahead and hit subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day. And remember, I love you a long time. Slán.